Hello, my beautiful mama, teacher, um, grandparent, carer. Thank you for joining us in the Conscious Mom podcast, in which we will be talking about everything consciousness, raising the next generation in a conscious manner. In this podcast, you will find interviews with different conscious moms. I am Mia Stara. I will be the host, and I am hoping that the information provided is really beneficial in your journey of consciously parenting and consciously educating the next generation of self aware, self responsible children who are really the ones who will become the next leaders of the new earth. So we are prepping the ground, we are setting the foundations for this generation of kids who are so wise, so intuitively connected, and so amazingly brilliant. And it is important that we, as parents, as carers, as teachers, as educators, allow them to be and to shine their light bright because this world really needs it. This new earth, this consciously based world requires individuals who are standing in their own light, in their own power, and who acknowledge the responsibility that it takes to be a human being in this planet Earth at this point in time. So we hope from the Ashtara team that these podcasts are really beneficial for you in your own journey of either parenting or consciously educating children from an alternative point of view that is different to the one that the matrix, the human mind, created. And so the principles that we base on in this podcast are the foundations of conscious parenting, as per the book Conscious Parenting Manifest, which I have written as a channeling that came through. There are 13 main principles to conscious parenting, and they are the foundations, the pillars that will allow you to, if you don't mind saying, use it kind of like a Bible so that you can always go back to those very basic grounding principles that allow you to see the situation or the challenge that you are facing from a broader perspective. And when you ground yourself in these principles, then everything else that is not important fades away. So um, the book for me has been a very a fundamental part of my own journey in conscious parenting, and it helped me view situations and resolve challenges with a standpoint of grounding myself on those basic principles. And I say basic because they are very raw, they are commonly known to everyone. And yet, once again, when we are enmeshed in the situation, such as parenting, parenting is a moment to moment, day to day, what's happening at this point in time, and how can we resolve it to keep moving forward. When sometimes when we are enmeshed in this journey, we forget about the bigger picture. We forget about these basic ingredients and elements that are really what binds everything together and what creates the most positive outcome and process. So when we base ourselves on these principles, then we can always go back to grounding ourselves in them and allow ourselves to simply be and to enjoy the journey of motherhood, the journey of parenthood, the journey of educating. If you have chosen to educate children, then what a great opportunity you have got here. So, one of the main things in conscious parenting or consciously educating the next generation of kids is choice, it is free will. And this is something that as a collective we are only but learning. It is something that doesn't come very natural to us, even if it is in our nature, because we have kind of forgotten that. We have gotten ourselves in the I am a human doing instead of I am a human being. And we forget that it is important to enjoy. Joy is, together with love, it is the magic pill for everything. When you tap into joy, you create your own freedom. And it is in this freedom that we allow ourselves to remember that we are responsible for ourselves, only for ourselves. And even if you may be responsible for the children that you have brought into this planet, or the classroom that you are teaching, um, you cannot control everything. So the less you micromanage, the better. And the more you focus on yourself and on your own inner journey, the more you become the example, the light to be for others to see as a reflection. And it is really important because as human beings, we come here with free will. And it seems sometimes that we have forgotten this, that we have forgotten that we have the free choice to decide what we want to do with our lives. When we do it from a space of grounded stillness and empowerment, then the reality that we create and the process that we enjoy is so much better than when we are feeling that we are forced to face situations and experiences from a place of lack or a place of fear. So, the more we can ground ourselves in this empowerment of knowing that we have the free will and hence the responsibility also to choose for ourselves, to choose what is best for us and for the collective, the more we can empower ourselves and believe that we are here with a very important mission. Every single action that you do or that you don't do is being watched, even if just by yourself, by your future self. Okay. And um, uh, just so that you know, as a side note, conscious parenting is a holistic philosophy or approach to parenting and guiding children in their own process of self development. This means that it takes into account not only the physical stage of self development in which the child finds itself in, but also the mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual realms or aspects of the kid as well as of the adult who is the responsible one in the whole process. So we will be for sure touching on a lot of different topics on alternative therapies and healings and spirituality, simply because the moms and the um, mompreneurs who are have been invited to this podcast are also very connected to the spiritual realm, because we cannot forget that we are spiritual as well as human. And so it is in that power of blending our spirituality, our spiritual essence with our humanness that we get the best results, not only for ourselves, but for our children. For such a long, long time, spirituality has been put aside and it has been casted away because it was feared. This has been very detrimental, and the children who are coming in, the star seeds, the new generations of kids, they are wise beyond words. They are spiritually connected, switched on, tuned into this spiritual world, and we all are. If you think about it, when you come into this world, you are but spirit. It's only that the ego and the limited beliefs and thinking starts to kick in as you progress, especially from five onwards. Hence why the first 5 to 7 years, it is said in the human development of a being, it is so, so important to place the foundations that are actually going to be what creates the future reality for the child. Why? Because this is what you're ingraining into the brain, the neural pathways that are being created through emotional responses, emotional regulation, and energetic blueprints that are being watched, observed, and absorbed kids are sponges, so they are being absorbed from the environment in which the child is being developed. So it is really important that we tend to them, to their needs, not only from a human perspective, as in, what do you need here right now? Do you need a roof? Do you need a hug? Do you need food? But also from a spiritual level. And from that perspective, we can solve so many challenges that arise, that I have seen in the parenting journey. Why? Because it is only when we get to the root core of the challenge or the so-called problem or mistake that we can solve it so that it doesn't repeat in other instances. The moment you get to the root core of it, you can understand and release that which no longer serves you. And as a parent, carer, teacher, you can better provide a safe environment and container for the child to also learn what is the best for them in their future choices. And so it is really important, whether you're already in your spiritual journey or you're curious about it or you would like to know more about it, that you do make your own research and you do get into this path as well. You explore, you experience, you trial, you error, you think about it, you ask questions, um, you figure out what the best way of living for you is. And the best way is simply do no harm. Simply do no harm. And once again, as I was saying before, with regards to the principles of conscious parenting, the foundations, the principles are so basic. And yet, the trick or the challenge is really in a day to day scenario, putting that principle into practice so that you align yourself with that higher frequency. If you do no harm, you intend no harm, you want no harm, then you want no harm for yourself or for, let's say, others. Yes, we are all one mind. We are all a one co-creation, a one collective, different sparks of God. That's how I like to see it or call it. So the more you can entangle yourself with this belief, with this idea that I am here only for the good and for the goodness, and others are here for the same, the more your brain starts to switch into seeing, believing, testing, and attracting those things into life. And so, as a collective, the more we do this, the more power we give to that. So the more goodness, the more kindness, the more self awareness, the more self responsibility, the more compassion there is in this world because we all abide by the principle of love. And conscious parenting really abides by that. The deeper core, the grounding foundation or principle is love, just like with anything. The deeper pillar for a human being is love. The more we can tune into that, the more everything else just fades away. And it doesn't matter what you're facing, you know you can get through it because you know that you're fully equipped to be able to realign yourself back into love, and those around you will eventually mimic that. It is very tricky not to mimic someone when they are in this state of higher frequency. And it might not come today, it might not come tomorrow, but in the long run, you are setting an example for yourself, for society, for the next generation of children to abide by that principle of love. And that's really what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. So if you haven't embarked yourself in your journey of spirituality, or if you have, yes, really get into it because it is going to definitely help you in your journey of consciously parenting, consciously educating, and guiding the next generation of children. The interesting part of it all is that all the inner work that you do is obviously a ripple effect and a benefit for the child that you are taking care of, but it benefits you. So, as a parent, consciously parenting is all about self responsibility. So, whether you are an educator, a teacher, whether you are a grandparent, carer, a nanny, or a parent, the principle is equality. The principle is that we are all in this together. We are co-creating the new earth. And in this frequency and vibration of love, we all abide. So we're all equal. Nobody is better than anybody else. We might have different abilities, and we might have different stepping stones, and we might have acquired more experience through practicing certain skills, which puts us in an advantage point in certain situations. But this doesn't mean that I am better than you. It just means that in this aspect, I have further advanced more than you. And this is how we like to view the role of the guide in conscious parenting with regards to the kid. Long gone are the days of authoritarian parenting and authoritarian way of governing and teaching, in which this is me, you have to do what I say because I said so. There's no space for questions, no space for negotiation, for discussions, for an open allowing of opinions and communication to flow. Long gone are the days for that. That stays in the old earth. You want to live and abide by that. Let's do it. Stay there. But the conscious parent, the conscious educator, the conscious individual is one who is in the process of awakening, of enlightenment. And so we see one another as equals. We're all teachers, we're all students of life. And bear in mind that children are very wise teachers. I am sure you have already encountered in your parenting path or in your teaching journey kids who have made you question what you're saying or what you're doing, or who have reminded you of something you have at some stage told them. Like, breathe, relax, it's time to let your worries go, for example. So sometimes we, as parents, as educators, we also get wrapped up in the human mind and in the human world, and we forget about this principle. So kids are also here to remind us about them. And so there is so much about conscious parenting, conscious educating. I am really passionate about this topic, and I do believe that it is a core foundation to the new earth because it challenges old structures. And we are in a very interesting time in which the current parents are dealing with their own issues, healing their own traumas, putting an end to patterns that no longer serve us. They no longer serve humanity in moving forward in a higher frequency. And so those unresolved issues that were passed down onto you from a generational standpoint, from the inability of your parents, your grandparents, their grandparents, of resolving these issues within themselves, the fear that was passed down onto you at a cellular level has remained within you in your DNA. And so this current generation of parents, what's doing is they're working on themselves. They're putting the inner work, the quality time and energy into understanding and improving their own selves so as to not pass that down onto the children. So we're doing a very, very phenomenal amount of work because take into account that we are doing double work. So we are healing the past, breaking through patterns that no longer serve us. And at the same time, as you are picking yourself up, you are carrying someone else in to the best of your abilities and having their own best interests at heart. So that's not a mean task. So pat on the back, really acknowledge this phenomenal amount of quality time that you are putting into your own healing and improvement and alignment with higher frequencies. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. It can be enjoyed. And this is why we're creating this series of podcasts, Conscious Mom podcast so that you get to experience the fun, the joy that it is. We're not here to talk about our dreadful experiences and how we got here. Yes, it is sometimes valuable to talk about it so that we can improve that and so that others who may be in a similar path can relate and also figure out their way out of where they are, but don't stay in that space for a long time. Have fun. These conversations are informal chats with questions and answers that are going to instill in your mind curiosity and open up your mind to different perspectives and give you solutions to so many topics that arise in conscious parenting. So we will be talking about healing, we will be talking about self-development, different tools that you can use to improve yourself and to help your kids in your own journey and in their own journey of self-development. And it is fun. Let's include the element of joy into our lives and enjoyment, happiness, love. It doesn't have to be a dreadful process. So these are really the main things that you will find in this podcast. And we, the moms who are invited into these sessions, talk from experience. So we have lived the path, we have walked the path, and we embrace ourselves for our wholeness. We be who we be and we shine our light. And we have been doing this more and more and more. And the more we do it for ourselves, the more we become that example for others, especially our kids who are watching. Kids don't only hear the words, they watch our actions, they see us, they feel our energy, our frequency. So if they see a a happy, empowered mom, then that's what they feel and see and know that is the standard. That is what's normal, right? And so the motto for this podcast is really happy mom or happy parent, happy child, because the more you allow yourself to feel your own self-love up, the more these ripple effects into the household, into your relationship with your partner, into your quality bond with your kids. And this is the same if you're a teacher, happy teacher, happy classroom. Yes. So it is very important that as the adult, you know yourself so that you can take responsibility for filling your own cup. This means that you state your boundaries clearly, healthily, and you allow yourself to simply be and to connect with that essence and with your own needs. And the more you can do that, the more support comes along. We are not meant to do this journey alone. Gone are the days in which we were doing it all alone. The materialistic world of consumerism, of uh, independence based on the masculine patriarchal level of living life and doing things based on a competitive state. This is gone. This is based on an ego and on limited beliefs that is coming from survival mode. We are entering an age of abundance, of prosperity, of luck, of creation from an empowered state of being. And this entails cooperation. This entails collaboration. We are a tribe. We can allow ourselves to trust in one another and to have each other's back. Yes, I'll take care of your kid for 2 hours whilst you go to the dentist. Yes, next time somebody else will have a play date with my kid whilst I do the washing. Yes, we're not meant to do everything on our own. And what has happened, and which really saddens me in this matrix world, is that so many parents are doing this single handedly. They have no support from families, they don't trust society, and so there's no support that they receive from either friends because they don't want to burden them or from the system. There is lack of financial support And we are doing this all alone, single parents parenting kids, when parenting is one of the most important, if not the most important, task and role that we have in this world. It is such an amazing and important responsibility to take care of somebody else and to help shape their present and their future. It is fundamental that we take it as a mission, as a VIP role. And the more we do this, the more we also put that message out there into society, going, wait a second, these systems are not working for us anymore. No way I am doing this journey solo, suffering everything that I have suffered. And I can tell you the moms that are here in this podcast are in the same journey. They have solo parent for at least a while, and they have endured what it is to do this journey in separation on their own with like bare minimum support, figuring themselves out, getting themselves out of the darkness and into their empowered light, and doing so whilst carrying or holding a kid in their hand. We do not need to do this anymore. We do not need to repeat this pattern anymore. We have already done the hard yards. We have already paid our fees. Now it is time to enjoy. Now it is time to create communities of like minded parents, tribes of like minded mothers who are here to support one another, who understand that we can only raise children as a tribe, that we need support as parents, that your needs are valuable and important. And the more we believe in this, the more we create our own alternative pockets of how we view and see and know that the new earth is going to work. Something very different to the old system of the human matrix that, as mentioned, it's not living, it's dead. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. We need nature, we need sun, we need a tribe, we need community, we need collaboration, we need working together, we need having fun together, we need the sea, we need the mountains, we need conscious parents, we need conscious teachers, we need teachers and parents who choose to be. This role is is not given to you. Like you have chosen this, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a grandparent, whether you are a mother, a father, you have chosen this. It's not like, oh, but I just suddenly fell pregnant. Yes, things happen. Oh, but I suddenly fell into having a grandkid or having a class. No, you have a choice. If you don't want to do this, don't do it. It is more detrimental when you're, oh, I'm just gonna teach because it just pays me money. I've got 3 months holidays and it's just a good life. No, no, it just does not work. You choose, you do it because you know how important your mission is. You connect with that, you ground that within yourself, and you act and abide by that. Same as parenting. You have got such a phenomenal and important mission here on earth. Let's spread the message. Let's spread the message so that more of us unite and so that more of us create that momentum of empowerment of going, this is how it is going to work now. We need support. We request financial assistance. We request the facilities and the environments that we know are best for us and for our kids as human beings, as spiritual souls. Yes? And this is really the message behind this podcast and the message behind all our sessions and trainings and courses on conscious parenting. It is such a phenomenal and important task. And I am so happy to be part of this revolution of love, in love, of conscious parenting. So if you have at any stage any questions, if you would like to reach out to any of the guests, in the podcast or reach out to us, Ashtara, then most definitely do that. I shall be posting the social media and website links so that you can get in touch with us. We are always open to comments and opinions as long as they are, healthy, aware, and they are not trying to harm, but instead they are raising the vibration of the collective, and you are genuinely wanting to figure out things in life, then always open for that. And we do hope that this is really beneficial in your journey of parenting. If you have got any topics or any ideas that you would like us to touch on upon, then feel free to write to us as well. And yes, this is Mia Ashtara. I shall be your host. Keep in touch with us on our website and on social media. And I wish you a beautiful day, week, month, year, decade, and life.